oops, I forgot to save all my settings. Okay, could you just say something else, Gustav? And so I can check that people in the live stream, people in the live stream can hear you.
Okay, in my opinion, ultralight walls are really getting beaten by the railgun spinners.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, in my opinion, ultralight walls are really getting beaten by.
I need to turn you up even more. There we go. That should be perfect. Okay. Try saying something else.
In my opinion, missile barges are and have always been overpowered.
Okay, there. If you can just like listen to yourself on the stream, because I have feedback. I have a feedback loop if I don't set up that. Where is it? Damn it, every time I stream, I like forget how to stream.
It's a learning experience. Every time. So, where's Oliver?
No clue, but if he doesn't show up, he doesn't show up. I've got one stream. I've got one extra host. That's what I need.
Just call Bubbit here and he'll be the best host ever.
If we call Bubbit here, nobody will ever watch us ever again.
Well, in my defense, when I first heard him, he wasn't as dead as he is now.
I can't say I agree with that.
Oh no, I heard him a long time ago, like some 6 months ago, so yeah.
Just go watch that for a little bit and check if your voice sounds fine to you.
Okay.
And check if my voice sounds fine to you as well while you're at it.
Okay, a second, let me mute Discord for a second.
Damn teaspoon thieves.
Ooh, I do sound a bit
soft?
Low end, you know.
Let me turn you up to like 150% then. I mean, at worst case scenario, worst case scenario, they'll just have to like increase the volume of YouTube slightly. So.
Yeah. Wait a second. Now I gotta see that.
Okay, please join the game. I will post the password in Discord.
Yeah. No, it's fine. And I'm back. I'm gonna open the YouTube stream on my cell phone and then I talk to the...
That's the password, by the way. It's in Discord chat.
Okay.
And now, what we do is we wait. We wait for like... Yeah, we wait until for 6 more minutes until everybody has either like checked in or there's one more people than expected, and we have like a really awkward bracket.
Yeah.
I guarantee that is going to happen.
I mean, that's what usually what happens. You know, that's the reason for the weird like 3-way matches that happened back when, or like those really weird fighting matches. I weird brackets.
I'm half tempted to just say, that's it, no more injuries, like no more chickens, this is it.
But then if someone else tries to check in, they'll get really mad.
Oh well, I'll take this opportunity to quickly eat lunch. It's 6:30 p.m. and I'm just eating lunch. That's slightly sad.
Oh yes, there are more people joining in on the stream. Now there are 5 people watching. Should be me and my 5 people. 4 other people. 200%. Now my voice overpowers all. Yes, Cyrus, we are talking. I mean, Ivy is eating dinner. Yes. Oh, okay, okay. Then I'll entertain the masses. 4 people that are watching, the 11 people that are watching beyond me, who is also watching the stream to my cell phone to actually answer the questions there. Maybe ask in the YouTube stream, which is something that you should all do. You know, ask stuff in the YouTube stream because I'll see if it's reasonable. I see if I can relate to the other hosts to get some opinion. I forgot what I was going to say. Now I remember. What do you think will be like the most played type of ships that will be used right now? In my opinion, there'll be like the duality that we have right now, which will be like either a fast wall or a railgun barge. I know they are called railgun spinners, but they're really railgun barges with rounded armor because that prevents pivoting. So, what are your opinions on that regard, my fellow stream audience? soon enough it'll be all starting up, and then we'll see who this after that tourney will be. I really hope that since the times like inverted in relation to the other tourney, we'd have like way less pros, but it seems that that's really not the case. Yes, we do have like quite a galore of well-known people, including but not exclusive to Sarah's, Cosmoteer, Luke, Slowking. I just decided like previous 30 winners, and of course there is Destiny and Cassianige and Saloth being like Miniceres, who are really skilled as well. Parius is really skilled as well, but I think he will get outmatched by the fast walls if he uses what he usually does, which is just the missile barge, railgun barge mix, because of range and the way the balls work right now.
Okie dokie. Roger, you are exactly 1 minute too late to enter right now. Because the brackets have just been decided, and we are about to start the group stage. Let me just show this to Gustav first. Please have a look and see if that is good. If, I mean, by if it's good, by like, are you happy with it? Or rather, get familiar with it, because that's the order in which we are casting the battles. Group C 1 and 2 are flipped for some reason. I'm not sure why. Tartarus has specifically he has specifically told me to put him in the last battle in the first stage. So
okay.
Yeah. And I really should probably get used to talking English when I'm confused about stuff, because I don't really make much sense. Anyway, let's. Are you ready to start?
Yeah, I think the brackets are they are good right now. They're good right now.
Then, are you ready to start?
Oh, of course.
Okay, brackets are being posted in announcements. And round 1 is Timmy versus Cody. Unfortunately, Polar Bear never did show up.
Yeah, that's well. We will need to have a chat with Polar Bear later about him wanting to host but not showing up.
Oh yeah, by the way, to everybody watching, if your in-game username is not the same as your Discord username, you are liable to get kicked.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, yeah, if you tell me, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm particularly interested in, well, Cody, because he's not well known in the community. Not, I haven't seen him too much, so I can't expect what type of ship he'll bring. Maybe he'll best everyone and everyone survives with the champion.
I'm always interested. Oh, sorry, you go. Sorry, you go.
No, you can talk. Sometimes I monologue like a true log.
It's considered impolite in my culture if I interrupt you, so you must continue, my friend.
Okay then. If it's a cultural manner, then I shall continue. But in the other end, I know that Timmy has had some very good advancements. Wait, what? Yeah, he's had some very good advancements, even defeating Cosmoteer on the last tourney. So we'll see how this match goes down. Now you may talk.
Thank you very much. I was just saying that I'm always excited to see new participants, just because there's a slight chance that they're going to bring a new design. I'm always interested. I usually always root for the underdog, the person who's not favored to win.
Yes, I think it's human nature to root for the underdog. But yeah, well, I think the whole point of the Afterlife was to get new entries, different people, different strategies. So yeah, Liverpool. I hope they do well, just so that we have some very interesting 30 matches. There, both participants are here.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your ships, gentlemen. This will be arena mode. I'm sure you've read the rules.
Yes,
There will be
and
an AI ship.
I think people can say that this is free for all. By the way, it's not more elimination anymore. But obviously, since there's 3 players, 2 players and 1 very dumb AI. Courtesy, sorry, you go.
Meaning a very pretty ship built by Ceres.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Ship built by Saros. Let's talk about the AI ship first, then, because we're gonna have to talk about it eventually.
Yeah. So the AI ship, if I recall the way that it was developed, it was developed because the last AI ship that was using the last 30, it did not have any weapons, and Ivy wanted another AI ship with a rounded off price, which if I recall now it's 350k, because it has 350 points, but with some weapons so that it can't be defenseless. As you said, you just don't expect for it to just stand there and take the punch. Now you gotta watch out for your backs. If you turn your backs toward the AI ship, you might damage your thrusters, or in Cody's case, damage your missile part, which is rather sensitive.
All right.
Anything to say?
I was gonna add that the AI. We'll talk about the AI ship in the next round because it's always gonna be here. Let's go talk about Cody's ship now. Since you are the master and you are the master ship designer, I'm sure you are more qualified to talk about it than me.
Oh yes, of course. We can see that Cody has a missile barge. The way the missile barges work, at least the type that he's using, they have a very strong, very well reliable frontal armor. As you can see, he has a gigantic frontal armor plate, just to defend against the shots. I don't know if they'll be able to withstand Timmy's railgun shots, because railguns are very good at being precise and bending the armor of the enemy. But he does have the advantage of missiles, because as you can see on Timmy's ship, he doesn't have any PD, and if Timmy stays there, taking his missiles long enough, he will eventually pass to the side armor of Timmy. We can see some very good design choices on Cody's part when he put like those thrusters there on the back end, because those create an off balance within the ship and make the ship turn faster. Simple physics.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Sorry, you speak.
No, you can talk.
Oh well, it's interesting
yes.
to see how Timmy has gone for 4 railguns with 2 smaller ones, because it does not look like this is a railfan, right?
The thing about the modern railgun spinners is that they are basically round railgun fans. These side, I think Timmy forgot a door to somewhere there, because his side railguns are reloading. But still, the way that these types of railgun barges basically work is that like they have this round armor. Because they were made the original ones actually were made to defeat the fast wall meta, and the round armor is to prevent the fast wall from doing stuff like hitting the corner of the ship and ramming the side of the ship. That way, it's really easy to defeat the normal barges. But the rounded off armor that these types of ship have, they prevent against that.
Despite that,
Sideways.
Despite that, I find it hard to believe that this the 2. I can see how the 2 inner railguns could possibly fan effectively, but I have a feeling if it spins a bit too fast, those 2 side railguns are gonna hit the sides.
Yeah, I don't think. I guess they can hit the sides if he spins like really fast. He has some very smart armor positioning, especially on those triangles, those armor triangles if you see right there, because he'll never be actually firing towards the triangles. He'll never be firing and spinning towards the triangles. He'll always be moving away from the triangles. So one of the problems in using those is that like they constrict the rotation that you can give, how fast the rotation you can have to Railgun fan. And the way that he laid his triangles, they won't do that. And right now you can see that he's focusing fire on Cody's thrusters, which is very smart because he has less armor protecting them.
Still hasn't managed to get entirely through the armor yet.
Ooh, we can see that Cody is almost getting to Timmy's armor, but Timmy is also basically gotten to the frontal armor of Cody.
Of course,
right now the match is really close.
Of course, Cody has the advantage in that he can.
Ooh,
that is very bad.
That is very bad. I think that that marks the death of that ship for Cody.
It was a nice idea turning to, of course, avoid continuous fire on the same spot, but he turned a bit too much.
Yeah, he overdid the rotation. He only has 2 more factories, so 1 more factory, 1 more missile factory. I think Cody's ship is rather defeated right now.
Of course,
this is arena, it can turn.
Yes, of course, he can respawn with a brand new ship.
Yes, and since Timmy has his right side quite better, he can take advantage of that. We can see that both players have just ignored Ceres' dual station.
Well, the station was designed to be relatively harder to kill than a player ship. It's not worth the points. Well, it's not worth the points unless the other player actively refuses to engage with you. But this is some pretty nice railgun venue.
Yes, it is a very nice railgun venue. You can see that it has like it has at least 3 layered shields on all the railguns. And I think a very good play that actually saved Timmy is those 3 shields on the side aren't actually defending the railgun, but that rather are defending the side of the ship, because that really stopped like a lot of missiles from getting. You can see that the missiles are almost passed through, but if those shields weren't there, then Cole definitely going through that armor and basically taken out like half of the shields or some of the railguns down there. Railgun fans are one of the popular types of ship right now, but that doesn't mean that you should underestimate the good old tried and true missile barges.
Now, Cody isn't respawning because if he respawns right now, he's going to be he's probably going to lose a lot of points.
I mean, I think he loses.
Oh no! Yes, yeah, there we go.
Cody has this one with the same ship. Interesting choice, yes, but in my opinion, won't pay out pretty well in the end. I mean, he will be able to defeat Timmy's spinner, but he also has to keep in mind that the range is actually his advantage. His advantage, since missiles they are homing and have more range than railguns and etc.
I'd actually argue that his advantage is in his maneuverability, since railguns need to be focused on one spot, whereas he can turn his ship around.
Yes, yes, that is true. He could actively try to not keep in like an open spot, not keep himself still, or keep turning himself around so that he spreads more the damage of the Timmy's railguns.
Timmy right now channeling his inner Gustav and having a very laggy time.
Yeah, that's Cody's ship just breathing out in the ROD.
I'm interested. If Cody just decides to go in and ram Timmy's spinner, would that be an effective tactic?
I think that would, because that would really mess with Timmy trying to focus his fire. You see, if he's far away, he can focus his fire really well. But if Cody is like right up on Timmy's face, the railguns they will all like try to fire at the same place, but actually hit different locations.
Cody should probably do something, anything.
But I guess that he won't be able to get close enough to Timmy to do that because Timmy, even though he has a lot of armor, I think he's faster than Cody.
Well, it's quite difficult to, I'd argue, it's quite difficult to move backwards and fan your railguns at the same time.
Yeah, the motion of moving to the sides or backwards, it really does mess the railgun fan maneuver, because railguns are a bit iffy to aim. They don't quite take the momentum of the enemy, really well.
Regardless, moving forward seems to be a good idea just to not be outside the perimeter anymore.
Yeah. We can see that Timmy now has an opening on his right side armor, and that missile got there and took out a huge thruster. Taking out the thrusters on these type of ship is actually something really important, because if you take out only one side, like the thrusters of only one of the sides, you effectively off balance like the center of thrust, if that's even a thing. And then the ship actually becomes really hard to maneuver. That works for every type of ship because I mean, so far I haven't seen any ship that maneuvers well and is off balance.
Unfortunately, it does look like the timer has run out, and because Timmy has a lot more points than Cody right now, he wins by just points.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's how you always win in Arena, but
yes,
in this case, he wins by time limit and points. Congratulations to Timmy for winning round 1, and now let us move on to round 2.
Yes. But don't be sad, Corey. The tournament is a very good, tournament is a very good learning ground. After all, people are bringing the best of the best again here. I think we'll see more railgun spinners as time goes on. They are quite popular right now.
Well, round 2 is I can't pronounce that. Typhus the newbie versus Cyrus. There, I said it.
Now, we at least gotta recognize that Cyrus is the winner of the last tourney, current champion. So he's trying to keep his champion role right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if he is able to defend his role and give it the fight that it's worth.
So once again, let's finish talking about that AI ship Cyrus has made. Like I said, the design of this AI ship was, well, I commissioned Cyrus to design it so that it would be a pain to kill while giving a decent amount of points, and the old meat shields, which were just like a pain to kill, period. The actual use of the weapons isn't just to fight back, because, I mean, let's be honest, this isn't fighting back against anything. This is gonna get run over. But it's just there so you don't have a small. What we saw in a mock-up battle is that you could make a small ion ship, and then park it next to the AI space station, and if it didn't have any weapons, it just sit there and then take it. Obviously, ions didn't actually give points, but it was a proof of concept. If you had any sort of small ship with weaponry, it would just sit there and get 3 points. It wasn't a space station, it was like a piece of space war. Anyway, look at Cyrus, he's gone with his, that's his old war design, right?
I think it's actually the new one. Yeah, it is the new wall design that he has. Yeah, I think I helped him build. It's a very good wall. It's a very good wall. It's already made quite fast.
Okay, he's gone directly for the AI ship, while Owo hasn't actually made a move.
Yes, I mean, observing the Uwu ship,
Yeah.
We can see that it has like a really non-conformant design. It doesn't follow the strict shape of wall or circle or rectangle or something like that.
It definitely
We can see that.
looks. It definitely doesn't look. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I'm just saying it definitely looks very weak with its very vulnerable control room.
Yes, and thus Cyrus is exploiting the very weak side of the ship with its control room down the center. I mean, it's a pretty creation, but let's be truthful here. It doesn't have much competitive play value, especially against Cyrus, which is one of the best ultralight fast wall builders and fast walls item meta right now. That's
Uh,
why I don't have many commentaries on the Cyrus ships. It's just like a really well built fast wall.
These AI ships aren't really putting out much of a fight, but Cyrus was just like that, taking out 2 AI ships and the enemy.
Well, we didn't expect any less from the champion.
Of course not. Congratulations to Cyrus for retaining his champion's position for now.
For now. And next up?
Next up, we move on to Group B, which is Destiny versus Luke. Now, I've seen Luke fight before, obviously. He's fought in every single tournament so far. Though, maybe not as Luke. But we know how Varandia's club fights. We're not really... I haven't seen much of Destiny, though. Have you seen him, Gustav?
Yes, I have seen him. He's actually a very old player that really, really influenced me into being to actually getting pro. He's the one that, from what I recall, created a quite unknown meta, which is like the V diagonal cannon span, which focuses more on having like the most surface area covered by cannons. I can get up we can get like a ship which is like a 2 mil with 48 large cannons that can fire all at the same time in a very focused fire manner. I wouldn't underestimate Destiny if I was Luke, but that also works for the other way around because I played with Luke recently. He does have some very good designs that he said to bring into the study.
Now, it's quite interesting to see that nobody has gone for that little scouting triangle tactic.
Yeah, it was tactically very, very discussed of like getting a small ship first and then getting the counter of the counter ship to the enemy. But so far, no one has executed it.
I mean, I've never disallowed tactics that was naturally allowed by the game, but I do agree that it was a bit unsportsmanlike. Anyway, looks like both participants are ready, and this is a very fast tournament. Maybe I should host more with you, Gustav. You seem to make everything go along smoothly.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I'm trying my best.
Okay, let's you start with a ship.
Okay, then let's go to Destiny's ship. We can see that he has a crew ejection, which is something new and what most people consider it very, very cheap. I don't judge the tactics. Tactics. If that works, that's
yes,
fine.
if it works, if it's allowed in the game, then it's viable.
Yeah, if people were like actively trying to take advantage of like the cannon bug, the whole armor ignoring thing, then that would be a problem. The crew ejection is just the way that the game works, and I think it's actually beneficial because then Walt knows that it's a problem right now and he'll be able to fix it. Anyways, your Destiny has a fast ultralight wall. We can see because he has almost no armor. And he has one that's laser based. The advantage with laser based ultralight walls is that they are very, very good at fighting other types of walls, other types of ultralight walls, just because of the way that the lasers, aim, they go faster than the cannons and they aim better. One of the disadvantages of that they have is that they don't accumulate momentum like the cannons do, so they can't effectively like outrange railgun ships or missile ships. But in the counterpart, you do want to give any opinions on your Destiny ship?
No, I find that it's very much similar to a lot of other light wars that I've seen. I don't really have any particular comments on I don't really have any particular comments on whether or not lasers and small cannons because I'm not professional enough to actually know the difference between the two, apart from like the accuracy and the basics. But quickly, let's talk about Luke's ships.
You see.
Luke's ships
You see
before these two rip each other apart.
Yes, Luke's ship is also fast wall, although it's not the same principle as Destiny ships. We can see that he went for cannons and a large cannon mix, which is good for the momentum accumulation that the cannons have. They make for a powerful, actually the most ranged weapon in the game if used correctly. And I thought that wall beforehand. The very interesting thing about that wall is that if you split that wall in half, it still works just as good as if it was full.
I think that's
that.
I think that's a point that a lot of Luke's ships have.
Yes, they're very, as he said himself, they're very solid because they work in under very harsh conditions. We can see the main difference between Luke ship and Destiny ship, I'd say, is the amount of shields. Because Luke ship has double layered shields with interconnected modules, which is his way of doing things. I don't question it. The interconnected modules do give some quite good advantage on the reload of the shields, but Destiny ship it's faster than Luke's and it has. I wouldn't say it's faster than Luke's, but it's lighter. But it has like a very different layout, a very different shield layout than you'd see on the other types of other types of walls because it has like surface shields. So instead of being only triple shielded, it's actually quad shielded. It's interesting because that allows Destiny to do hit and run type maneuvers with more wiggle room because the Luke will take way more time to actually take out the shields than Destiny will take out his shields, especially with the focus fire of the lasers.
Both players are again ignoring the small AI shit. Now Luke's taking a lot more damage from the perimeter, so I don't think he's gonna win this engagement.
Yes, but Luke's also getting very good hits onto Destiny. Effectively, he has hit the hole into Destiny's front, which is a very it's a very bad thing for fast walls because they rely a lot on shooting. And you can see the station working right now.
That's doing its best.
It's doing the job and very well. Look at it's getting some very good hits into Luke's ship. I think it has taken out like two small cannons. Oh, there goes a large cannon. And Destiny is getting into the ring of death, and I think he's trying for another attack run on Luke's ship.
Luke's angle is wrong right now. He needs to turn really quickly. Oh, there we go. Actually, that was probably that just sort of ripped right into that open hole.
Yes, Luke has a gigantic open hole, so he has the disadvantage. Still, if Luke gets some more like some rounds into Destiny ship, he will be able to rip Destiny ship in half.
It's hard to see him doing that when Destiny has a lot better shield coverage than Luke does.
Yeah, that's as I said, that's the main difference between those two ships. The amount of shields they have. The bigger the amount of shields you have on your wall, it basically gives like a buffer of defense, since shields are basically regenerative armor. So it allows for more safe in the maneuvers, or more safety in the maneuvers of your Destiny, since he can go in, do damage to Luke, and when his shields are wiped out, which will take way more time than him to wipe out Luke's shields, he can go back out and wait for his shields to reload. You can also see that. Let me see. Well, you'd expect it, but a Destiny ship doesn't have batteries. I think it would do better if it had batteries, but I guess that's some it's because the money restriction. Because batteries, they work as a enemy buffer. They help a lot to reload the shields against like the alpha strike of the enemy, especially with the cannon based types of ships. They help out because the cannons have more range, so they'll get some rounds into you before you can actually start targeting you. And the battery storage, it helps to effectively counter that because it gives a faster reload. And now we can see that Lux is going for the hole that is open on his previous ship, and Destiny Destiny's ship, and Destiny is focusing fire on the reactors of Luke, going from each module from left to right. Isn't anything. Both are very valid maneuvers. After all, they're taking advantage of the way that the enemy ship is built.
But that ability to concentrate fire that small lasers have is really working in Destiny's favor, I feel.
Yes. But we can see Destiny's ship dying to the ROD.
Yes, remember that dying to the ROD removes points. So Destiny just lost a lot of points in that engagement. However, Luke's losing the same amount of points if he stays out too.
That effectively prolongs the match.
Not really, since there's only 2 minutes left for for the two players. It looks like Luke needs to respawn. He doesn't have like enough weapons to fight this. I think he just has to respawn.
He has only one small cannon module, but I think he's taking advantage of the startup time of the enemy. It's something really smart to do, because the way that Destiny ships built is actually really fragile when it's not powered up, as all ships are. But the way
It's
that the thrusters
it's too little, too late.
yes, too late, because he didn't have enough weapons. Still, it's something that I think we'll see more as the tourney goes on. People taking advantage of the time that it takes to power up their enemy ships after they respawn. Ooh, a new ship from...
No, that's the same. Exact same, I'm pretty sure.
It's painted differently.
Oh, it's painted differently, yes.
Yes, Destiny is taking advantage of the time to start up Luke's ship. And I think it's safe to guess right now that Destiny has won the match.
Yes. That's a very large point differential. Man, I can't keep people happy, can I?
Yeah, Luke's complaining about the disadvantage of arena mode, and yes, it is true. It is true, but that also means that ultralight ships won't work because it takes time for crew to get into the modules. Well, of course, if you actually have the weapons to attack the enemy when the enemy is respawning, we can see that Luke failed into basically getting Destiny ships when they were starting up, because he was actually very damaged. If he wasn't very damaged, I guess that he would have taken out, if not all the ship, a very large portion of the Destiny ships before it had powered up. It's a valid strategy, you know. But,
yes, that's part of the reason why arena mode is here. So, like, respawning isn't without its consequences.
Yes.
Anyway, congratulations to Destiny for winning round 3. Yes, round 3. And we move on to round 4. Which is Cosmoteer versus Pyrus. I can't pronounce either of these names, so you know, from now on they're just C and P.
Well, according to the pronunciation of Pyre, his name is Cosmoteer. I'm just kidding. He hates it when I say that.
Cosmoteer.
Cosmoteer. From what I recall, he has taken a break recently, which means that he'll probably not have like the most competitive ships of all. But that's not the reason to underestimate him, of course, because he was the one to actually improve a lot what the types of ship that he calls traps, funnily enough. They were, well, if he uses them, you'll see. I don't want to spoil the fun that the Pyrrhus may have. And Pyrrhus, which does very well in the tourneys. I don't accompany Pyrrhus' career, so I don't know what to say about him.
Alright, both players are loaded. Let's talk about Cosmotier's ship first then.
Yes, he's using what he calls traps, which are basically two ships rather than one. It's a very, very valid strategy because it essentially gives a lot of potential for flanking, which is very good against the meta at the time that he developed those types of ships. Because the fast walls, as you can see, even in his design, they have a very weak thruster layouts. So if you get on the backs, they take a lot of damage. So he takes advantage of that by using two ships instead of one. One to take the damage, and the other one to get the back of the enemy.
Meanwhile,
it's a very good type of ship. Meanwhile, yes,
yeah, Pyrrhus's design.
Pyrrhus' design is a missile barge railgun barge mix, which he said that he used. The heavy armoring and shooting on the sides will give a bit of trouble to Cosmoteer, but it also is worth mentioning that since Cosmoteer has two ships, he can flank the missile barge, effectively countering the strong armor front that most missile barges have.
It's the anvil tactic. If you clamp down on that ship, it won't be able to move. And be able to use the railguns.
This will be a very interesting match. We can see Cosmoteer going for the small station to gain some points. In fact, he can win the match only by going for the small stations. It's a valid strategy. I know it's a bit unsportsmanlike because then you won't even be fighting the enemy. But Spyri's ship is so slow that it's a valid strategy.
Well, yeah, that's part. You can't have a ship that's too fast, but at the same time, if you're too slow, you're also you're not going to be in a very good position either. Now, it's important to remember that the AI ship respawns randomly, so it may just decide to respawn next to Pyrrhus once it gets destroyed.
Yes, that is true. You can see a very smart usage of large cannons by Cosmoteer. Since the ships are meant for flanking, large cannons they are the best weapon for damage, to grant you a lot of damage from flanking, since they have a very good DPS and they can penetrate into the enemy.
Well, it did respawn closer to Pyrrhus this time.
Yes.
Now the question is, can Pyrrhus get to it before Cosmoteer does?
Is this match going to whittle down to both players chasing down stations? We'll see. So far, nobody has made a move at each other, just at the AI.
In theory, chasing down stations is a perfectly a viable way to win.
Yes, of course.
Of course, if you can steal the station kill, that's also a perfectly viable way to win. Let Pyrrhus do the hard work. Cosmoteer can just sort of sneak in and grab, the last few points.
He can. But he's gotta watch out for the range of the railguns. Oh, there's some contact between the two. We can see some missiles are hitting Cosmoteer, but they are getting stopped at the shields. And Cosmoteer tries for a flanking maneuver with his other ship, but he gets some thrusters taken out by the missiles of Pyrrhus. I think Pyrrhus came out he came out way better than Cosmoteer on that engagement.
Now, Pyrrhus needs to go finish off that civilian small AI ship before it gets stolen. One good railgun shot ought to do it.
Yes.
There we go.
There he goes. It is also worth mentioning that if Cosmoteer does charge maneuvers, he has the largest range. Funny enough, that's a thing in the game. Cannons have way more range than railguns. Won't question it. It's a bad strategy. But it seems that he's going for the station again. It seems that people really like targeting the stations.
Note to self: make stations tankier for the next round. I did assume that was enough armor, but it looks like the sides are a weak spot.
The station did damage Cosmoteer there, so he did not get in the engagement for free. I think some 2 or 3 small standard cannon rounds actually went into his thruster modules there at the back, which are rather exposed, which in turn gives an advantage to Pyreus because he has railguns. He can actively aim at the thruster modules and take out a big part of the way that fast walls work, which is they are thruster based.
This is what the stations are supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be there so that the slower ship has something to hit, whereas the faster ships can't take it out as easily.
Yes.
But of course, the faster ships.
Yes.
Oh, that was a nice shot on Cosmoteer's engine module. Took out 2
Yes.
reactors, I think.
Yeah, two huge thrusters. But it's very important to note that it took out the strafe thrusters, which
Yes.
are really important. That basically means that when Cosmoteer is strafing to the right, he'll have less strafe thrust, and will probably have a bit of an off balance on the ship, which effectively does negate a bit of the thrust. This match has been really interesting. It seems that the primary focus of the players is not each other, but rather getting the points through the stations. And so far, I think Pyreus has more station kills than Cosmoteer does. But I think it will all come down to the last engagement as the ROD closes in with only 3 minutes and 20 seconds left of the match.
Looks like Cosmoteer is going to be able to get this one without any trouble.
Yes, he took out another station. Both players are accumulating a lot of points to the stations, so it will really be like an all-or-noth in the end. Of course, one of them doesn't win, only by killing stations. Cosmoteer has to watch out. His thrusters are really exposed. If the station was powered up there, it would definitely have. He'd definitely have like taken some rounds into his thrusters.
Now, Cyrus did recommend me missiles as armaments for these, and I sort of disagreed with him, but I think he might have been right.
Yes, I also said that missiles would be better.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the main reasons that missiles would be better is that even though they may be stationary, they can actually actively target the weak points in the enemy, especially with the fast walls, because most of the times instead of just going straight to the enemy, they tend to arc into the back of the enemy. Yeah, the station may be stationary.
Pyrus should probably move out before that perimeter closes right in on him.
He just took out another station queue.
Yes. This
I
one.
think it counts into 4.
No, that's 3. 3 for him.
3 station queues, okay.
That being said, he may just start losing some of the points he got from ROD. His ship is really slow.
Yes.
So that might have actually been a mistake.
Well, we'll see how the players react to the Ring of Death closing in. As I was saying, and the other thing about getting missile stationary ship like that, like a station, is that all the weapons would fire rather than only the ones that have direct sight to the enemy.
Of course, missiles are also more expensive, so.
Yes, they are.
Well, it looks like Pyrus has decided to go for Cosmoteer this time. Is that shot gonna land? That's gonna land. Not much damage though. However,
I mean,
here comes the missiles.
Here comes the missiles. They have taken out a lot of thrusters on Cosmoteer.
However, both players are actually neck and neck, having Cosmoteer having destroyed that his 4th station. Pyrus slightly ahead.
But the Ring of Death will
if Pyrus keeps his point lead once this Ring of Death shrinks to 0, he will win by points because the Ring of Death doesn't actually it doesn't really matter once the timer hits 0, and that's exactly what looks like is going to happen.
I mean, Cosmoteer has 10 seconds to get the station done. He did.
Yes, unfortunately he's lost. Oh no, he has 2 seconds.
That Reagan round.
Unfortunate. Congratulations to Cosmoteer. I didn't see that extra station spawn, so I thought Pyrus had that in the bag.
Ooh, oh wow, that's a very
Very
low
close.
point difference. Very close match indeed. It was like 30 something points. I want right now.
Well, we should probably have a discussion about these stations after this tournament. Congratulations to Cosmoteer for winning round 4. Please give me a second. Polar Bear just messaged me.
It was a very good match. Will Polar Bear be joining us right now?
I am going to chat with him.
Now we have a match which both competitors we see Saloth and Tartarus. Tartarus isn't very active nowadays, but we have seen some pretty good layouts from him on the previous tourneys, and Saloth is that's the Tartarus. I think is well, I won't say it, but we do see that Saloth is quite active nowadays in the competitive scene, and I see him every day trying to improve his design. So this would definitely be a very interesting match.
Incoming Polar Bear. Run for your lives.
For he has joined us.
He actually hasn't joined us yet. We're still calling him. Sorry for the delay.
Okay.
That does not bode well. Let me try again.
This will be a quite interesting match, I have to say. I won't say why, because if I do, I think I'll give one of the players an advantage. But so far, the tourney is taking some very interesting turns. The match that I think was most interesting was Cosmoteer. Oh, he's joined now.
Has he? Has he?
I think he has.
Speak to us, Polar
Hello.
Bear. There we go.
Yes, he's here.
Oh,
Yeah, you're late. Just saying.
Yes.
Okay.
very-
Yes.
You see, Polar Bear, there will be repercussions.
Yes, we're global warming is coming for you, but please also join the game.
Yes, I'm coming.
I sent the password. If it's still the same password.
It is still the same password. I mean, if it wasn't, Tartarus and Saloth wouldn't have been able to join.
Nobody knows. Maybe we change it midway. Anyways, since Polar Bear is here, I think he also gives some very good insights into the ship's designs, and it will take a bit of workload out of my shoulders. Not that I mind at all. I really like commentating. I really like it.
You're like, I thought since we had 2 new moderators, I'd get a chance to talk because Octo wasn't here, but well, what you know. It does not look like he is coming again.
Yeah, he muted himself for some reason.
Well, we'll just play this round without Polar Bear. I mean, we've gone this far anyway, so let us start.
Yes.
If Polar Bear wants to host, he can always look at the stream. Actually, no, that's
Yes.
probably a very bad idea.
You have like some very delayed reactions, but onwards to you see. This will be very interesting because it's what you talked about earlier. Tartarus spawned with a very small, very cheap ship at the start because that way he can see what Saloth is doing, and Saloth is going with the trap strategy of Cosmoteer trap strategy, which is something really. It's really good. I think Cosmoteer has defeated me. Not Polar Bear, and not Polar Bear. One Eye. One Eye has defeated me using that strategy a lot of times.
Now,
It's a very good strategy.
if I was Saloth, I'd do exactly what he's doing right now and go for the AI, because
Yes.
the small ship can't do anything about it.
But now Tartarus has some time to think about a counter to his ships.
Time
he's
is actually
one.
very important, since the team getting this II means that Saloth can, if he manages, he can kite Tartarus for the entire duration, and
Yes.
win, just like that. Of course.
He can just run away and win by the timer.
Yes. Now Saloth is doing the smart thing, which is not destroying Tartarus' small ship, because if he does destroy it, then Tartarus gets a free respawn.
Yes, and Tartarus is probably actively trying to get targeted by Saloth. Just do that, but you gotta keep in mind that Tartarus can respawn anytime, and so far his delay on taking a new ship is costing him a lot of points. No, not for him, but Saloth is gaining a lot of points with that.
You do need to destroy six AI space stations to win the game, just from AI. Yes.
And Saloth has destroyed another one.
Small ship doing its best to annoy Saloth, but I think you should probably just respawn now.
Yeah. After all, Saloth is soon enough he'll be halfway through the
Victory.
victory only by stations, which will be very interesting if that does happen.
I hope Tartarus is aware you can respawn anytime.
Yes, because if he isn't, then well, he's losing a lot of points. You know, he's losing a lot of wiggle room due to his unawareness of the game's mechanics.
Well, we just told him, so he obviously knows now. There we go.
Yeah, and there he goes. He got a Railgun fan. Yes, we can see that he has triangles on the barrel, which should mean that he can spin extremely fast, or else the railgun shots will actually get caught in the barrel. But what we can see as well is that Tartarus' ship is not particularly fast, and Saloth has destroyed his third or fourth station. I lost count now.
That's the third. This would be the fourth. If he destroys this one,
yes.
it would be the fourth. And he would be well on his way to winning.
Yes. So Tartarus does have to watch out for Saloth winning by station destruction.
Now, considering how slow that railgun ship is, and considering it also has no actual weaponry on the sides, I wouldn't be surprised if Saloth tries to get a flank off.
Yes, if I were Saloth, I'd target Tartarus because he is not a particularly strong side armor, and his slowness does give Saloth a very good advantage over Tartarus. After all, Saloth has two ships that are actually built for flanking the enemy. We can see Tartarus is using the strategy of using boosted, permanent fire boost thrusters. It's not. It's actually really cost inefficient to do that because boost thrusters are extremely power hungry, and Saloth is in his way to destroying the fifth station. Tartarus said that he doesn't have any fast ship, which is a shame because, well, you either get a railgun spinner or a missile barge or a fast round, at least nowadays.
You don't need necessarily something that's overly fast. You just need something that can get to the AI stations and contest it before they're destroyed. Because essentially that's what the stations are there for. They're there so that slower ships can go there and get some points if faster ships don't contest.
Yes.
Of course, this type of ship is a bit too slow.
I mean, if it spawns close to Tartarus and the cell is distracted enough, I think that it's safe to assume that one well-placed railgun fan from Tartarus can actually take out one of Sal's ships. Because as you can see, they are very weak on the backside. And if he does get a shot, a railgun spin essentially at 90 degrees, he'll be able to take out those three thrusters that are powering the combat modules in only one go. But with the spawn of the last station being far away from Tartarus, I guess that Saloth will be the winner by only taking out stations, which is an interesting strategy to say the least.
I mean, Tartarus didn't respawn for 3 whole stations, so I don't think that there's much to say about this. It does look like, however, Saloth has gone for the finishing blow here and just...
Yes, he's starting to target Tartarus, and
Well,
he's using what his ships are best known for. He's trying to flank Tartarus.
well, one is
And
already behind him in position, and the other is whole... Well, you can't turn... You have to face, like, one of them in the back, no matter what.
And now Saloth pulls away, effectively completing the flank maneuver. Now he pulls in with his other ship that's actually now on Tartarus' flank, and he rinses and repeats the maneuver until Tartarus is damaged enough that he can just take out his ship just by doing, just by sheer power. But because of Tartarus' the shape of the ship, it's actually a valid strategy to not do that and just get on Tartarus' side and ram him, because that way you keep on Tartarus' side without even though he's rotating, and you'll be able to kill him just as easily as Saloth is killing him right now. I like the Saloth target Tartarus, even though he could just have taken out that station. It shows that no,
He does
want
have...
to fight.
Yeah.
He does want to fight a bit, not just win by stations. I mean, I wouldn't judge. It's a very effective strategy, especially because Tartarus got a ship very late and a very slow ship. But I do thank Salah for showing how those types of ship work. With which flank maneuver, Saloth takes out more of Tartarus thrusters.
And,
All of his
yeah.
brave thrusters are gone, and he only has 4 thrusters left. Now he's completed a flanking maneuver, and he's on Tartarus' back. I think this is the end for Tartarus.
I think that
At
the
least I
end
got
was
one hit.
decided like a long time ago when we saw that Tartarus, how slow Tartarus ship was, just a moving and turning.
Yes, but I'd rather not say it right away, because then it would demotivate
Yes,
Tartarus.
obviously. Well, congratulations to
There goes.
Saloth.
Congratulations to Saloth, yes, for winning this match.
Now,
Almost
moving.
all because of the look at Tartarus has minus 19 points.
Yes.
I saw it. But... Oh, Polar Bear's here.
Oh, hello. Welcome back, I guess.
Yeah, we've been waiting for you, like for 1 hour now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my little brothers had been like in the same room watching a TV show, so I had to like them
Oh, it's okay.
to leave. So
Yeah, that's
Hold
fine.
on.
That's fine. We're just glad you're here now. Well,
Yes.
we're at round 6 already, right?
Well, now you can join in on the match and see what's going on.
Oh, round 6 is Caster Ninja versus Slow King. Of course, Slow King is used to be a champion alongside with Luke.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Castle Ninja versus Loking will definitely be a very interesting match, because from what I recall, both of them are very proficient with fast walls. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, missiles and more armor, and maybe 2 shields. That's what I'm thinking. Oh well.
On Tiger's ship?
No, on the small AI space station. It's a
Oh,
never-ending battle to like find perfect balance, and I always fail.
you're not Thanos.
I mean, to be fair, even Thanos didn't really find perfect balance. We haven't seen
well,
the second movie yet.
oh yeah. Well, the match is starting up now. I think it will be a very
Looks like
interesting match.
they're
Let's
both
see.
choosing one ship.
Yes, they're both choosing one ship, and Stoking got a fast wall with double, I mean, four huge engines on each thruster module rather than 6. That's because if you work out the power consumption on the engine, on the thruster modules, you can see that the usual 6 thrusters layout that people use nowadays is actually really extremely energy inefficient. So that's a valid strategy on Stoking's part. And Castle Ninja has a railgun spinner, which is quite the counter to a fast wall. So we'll see how Stoking does against Castle Ninja. If it will come down to Stoking's maneuvering.
The back armor on that, spinning railgun spinner is quite thin though.
But that makes sense because you're way less likely to get hit on the back than you are on the front. So the thought process behind that
Oh,
is that
that's not a good move.
Yeah.
yes,
Of all the
he
tactics,
hasn't taken out a reactor though.
of all the tactics that
Oh.
you can use against a railgun spinner, going straight at it against the railguns is probably not the best.
But since Zdoking has a lot of trust, he is pulling out a pivot maneuver on Caster Ninja. We can see that if we will see if Caster Ninja will be able to shake Zdoking off. Maybe he will with the rail guns, but if he doesn't, Zdoking is almost through Caster Ninja's armor. It's a very well executed maneuver on Zdoking's part.
Yes.
Look,
However,
shots are getting in.
Castle Ninja is starting to turn slightly.
Yes, he is.
He needs to turn now because his armor is almost gone.
His armor is now gone,
Very
and
close.
Zdoking's rounds are getting into Caster Ninja.
There's nothing to protecting those railguns. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Oh,
That
That's a nice
dislodged him.
shot that dislodged Zdoking, but he's now on the other side.
He
Oh no, the
can't.
station prevented that. Oh, very well played, station. The station prevented Zdoking from getting on the other side. So
I think-
the station is actually playing a very big role on the lane right now.
I think another railgun shot is going to be quite devastating. Yes, there we go.
yes.
Yes. Zdoking has to watch out because his ship is very weak down the center. And if Castle Ninja can actually get a railgun shot on one of those reactors, he'll probably split Zdoking's ship in half. So far, I'd say they're even, because even though Castle Ninja has gotten more damage into Zdoking, Zdoking has gotten a whole to Castle Ninja's armor, which is a very big deal for armor-based ships, especially the railgun spinners when they're fighting against these fast walls. I find interesting the role that the outposts, not the stations, are playing in the tourney. They're playing quite a big role. Oh, we can see.
Yeah,
lost
a
his
small
engine.
section of
Lost
engine just
his-
lost. Does that? I hope Slowking added fire extinguishers.
Yeah, I hope he's in
This is the
forest.
part. This is the part where I bring in Cosmoteer and he starts saying "fe," but I can't be bothered, so I'll just say it for him.
He does have at least one right behind each reactor, we can see, but I don't think that's enough.
Losing.
Smoking. I don't know if he just maneuvered that way, but it seemed like he tried to pull a.
Oh,
horse
well,
guard.
Actually, that just took out the entire ship. I'm
entire
not.
ship?
Yes.
I think he doesn't have any CRs on the other side then.
Yeah, he doesn't. I think what happened is that he lost a lot of points when that ship split in half.
Now Slowking has gotten a railgun spinner
of his
of
own.
his own. We can see the differences in shield layout mainly. Slowking has he has well a different armor and different shield layout than Caster Ninja. I'd say that Caster Ninja does have the disadvantage because it basically missing the armor on the entire side, giving Slowking the chance to get the railgun shots into the left side way easier. But then again, both the ships have very similar designs. But the main difference is that Slowking's shielding makes his railguns have more shields on the middle than on the sides.
Well, there is a railgun fan.
Well, it didn't do
There is a
anything.
railgun fan on Slowking's part,
Oh.
taking out one of the shields.
And for
On the
luckily,
left
it doesn't
side.
really take out any important components. Oh boy!
Oh,
Oh,
that's
there's
bad.
three
Railgun.
entire railguns. That was a
That's
very
it.
nice shot.
That was a very good
A
shot.
lot
He
of
took-
armor went through.
Yes, he took advantage of Slowking over rotating on his fan maneuvers.
Despite that, it was really good to have all of those railguns went through like one exact spot in the armor. So
Yes, that was a very
that was very well executed.
well executed.
See, that time he did not do it as well.
With only one railgun, it's pretty hard to see how Slowking can get through all those shields to do any serious damage.
Yeah,
I
they
think
regenerate.
yes, they regenerate faster than Slowking can actually get through the shields themselves. If Slowking though is able to get a shot through the side where he's damaged, he will be able.
And
never
there
mind.
goes the last one.
I think that's the end for.
Yes. He basically has to respawn, otherwise he'll just. He
But
has no
the
weapons, but if he
Yes.
respawns, then that ship is
That
just gone.
counts.
Yeah, Caster
Yes.
already has 700 points.
Yes, he did just respawn. And congratulations to Caster Ninja.
Congratulations.
That was very well executed from Caster Ninja there.
Yes, that was a very good display of the potential of railgun spinners.
Or just fans in
He-
general.
Not really fans, because if it was a normal fan, he definitely would have died to the wall because he would have got flanked, pivoted.
Oh yes, true. But
The round armor of the railgun spinners are a good counter, as you could see when Slowking had the wall. He could basically disattach Slowking from his front using the railguns because of the knockback of the railguns, and the round armor basically gave him a bit of a passive counter against Slowking trying to latch onto the side of the Caster Ninja.
okay, we are now moving on to the second stage, which is I guess this is the quarterfinals. Round 7 is Timmy versus Cyrus. By the way, just to clarify, this means that 3 people will be moving on to the final stage, which is a round robin.
That would be very interesting. Morning indeed, Cyrus. Morning indeed. 4:30 a.m. for me.
Well, it's 7:30 in the afternoon for me, so.
It is midnight for me, so not the morning, technically.
Good morning to you too.
This will be a very, very interesting match because Timmy is one of the players that has most advanced since he actually became known in the community. At first, he was made fun of, and nowadays he can actually beat Luke in a few matches. So he has some very
he's been here for 3 tournaments, right? Or at least since last year.
from what I recall, he hasn't been actually active because of his parents in the last until
Timmy's
2019.
taking 2 ships. And Cyrus is only taking 1.
Don't say that. You spoil the surprise.
I think Walt is removing the ability to see ship costs next patch, so that should be fixed. Cyrus with his wall design we've seen before. Oh wait, no, this
Yes.
one's a cannon wall.
But the other one was also a Canon War. I think
Was
you're
it?
mixing up Destiny and Cyrus.
It looks like he made it able to split, but he didn't add charges. But I mean, I can see that it's just made to in
No,
case
no.
it does get split.
That's very wise on Cyrus' path, Cyrus' part, because the enemy will most likely aim down the middle, if I split Cyrus' ship, he'll have like less firepower. But it may as well work in Cyrus' advantage, because then you have one ship to target normally and one ship to flank the enemy.
Yeah, they were the same ship. Okay.
Timmy has an
Timmy-
interesting paint job.
Interesting to also see that he hasn't gone for like the full allocation of budget. These ships are only worth 728 points instead of 750. Cyrus managed to get to the space station first. Of course, fast wars aren't exactly the best at destroying space stations.
Yeah.
Then again, Timmy is even less effective with his tools.
Timmy's pulling off
the amount of
almost
cannons.
pulled off a flanking maneuver. If Timmy gets off a flanking maneuver, Cyrus will take quite the beating, but
And that's
Timmy is
one
stuck
of Timmy's
on-
ships gone.
Yeah, one of Timmy's ships
Basically.
gone.
Just a few cannons left now.
Yes, Timmy has lost one of his ships, and I don't think that he's fast enough to catch up to Cyrus' ships. Because
Yeah.
they have the same. They should have about the same thrust to weight ratio, which is why
Well, he didn't
which is
even
all that matters.
go for stars. He's just going for the space station. Not even shooting at it, even.
It was very interesting
Wow.
because if Timmy had actually hit the Cyrus side, which he actually came very close to hitting, he would have like flinged Cyrus to the side and exposed the back of Cyrus to the other ship from Timmy. So I guess that's what he's going for, but but the maneuver failed the last second because Cyrus probably predicted that and already flung his ship a bit to the side to prevent that from happening.
The space station kill also got stolen by Cyrus, so Timmy didn't actually get many points from that.
Yes, I think
Right through.
after Cyrus takes out the other ship on TV, he will just have to take out another station to win. Which is
Very bad
probably
idea to attack a wall twice your side with 3 times the firepower.
yes, Cyrus' ship is more focused, more geared towards firepower. But if someone does bring a ultralight laser wall, as Destiny did bring beforehand, or another ultralight cannon wall, they do have quite a good chance against Cyrus because he lacks the usual 3
So
strafe
Timmy's
thrust and
other
4
ship is
back power thrust.
actually out there. Come on.
It's a rear gun,
Railgun spinner.
yes. No, it's because it was very similar to Dallas design, so it's Dallas design. But it's
So
not.
apparently Timmy has a pretty bad computer. Almost
He
as
does.
bad as Gustav was.
Probably. Oh, you wouldn't know the nightmares that I went through.
Oh, you changed your computer. Is that why you can suddenly host now?
Yes, that's why I can
Interesting, Timmy put way more money into armor. And more specifically into back armor than anyone else so far.
That's a double-edged sword because it does help with flanking, but that also means that he'll have less armor on the front, where it's most likely that he'll get targeted. And Cyrus wins by taking out the enemy once and taking out 2 stations. This time was 3.
Well,
Very
congratulations,
well.
Cyrus, for moving on to the finals, which is a round
That
robin.
seems.
Wow,
that
maybe
seems like a
1
saucer.
damage point. That's... Oh, that's AI.
Oh, that's the AI.
Yes, the AI has 1 damage point. It's I should probably like review that AI ship a bit more for the next arena match.
I mean, the AI is doing very well so far. It's still in the 30, the AI.
I really
Hasn't
need
been
to.
really well.
I really need to find a time and place to host like a balanced discussion with some players, because it seems like nobody is ever happy with what I do.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make everyone happy, but I think everyone recognizes that you do try your best. And yes, I do agree with a balanced discussion and some other types of discussions that concern like the competitive side of the community, like naming convention of different ship types, which was a big deal back when ultralights were first conceived and avoiders were first conceived. Anyways, what's the next match?
Next match is Destiny versus Cosmoteer.
Okay, two very, very skilled players, as we've seen on the previous matches, with Cosmoteer getting very, very close to losing on the other match, which was really funny because it was a match where Polar Bear, I don't know if you actually saw it, but like both players like they just went for the stations, so it was almost like a station hunt on both players' sides. I think the stations are really playing a very big role on this tourney. As we can see, Ceres has a very good strategy utilizing the stations really well, which I won't review right now because well, you can figure out what he's doing pretty quickly. But I'd rather not give away the strategy just so that I don't have give away any kind of advantages that might unbalance the way that the tourney is going on right now.
It is interesting that you get a lot more points from the AI this tournament than the last one. Like, trying to grind for points from the AI was almost impossible last tournament, but this one it's not too hard. You can still get quite a few.
We can see that. Yes, say it.
Yeah, Destiny is using the exact same ship as before. That cannon wall. I'm sorry, not cannon wall, laser wall. And meanwhile, Cosmoteer has gone for a very interesting spinner design.
Yes, it's. I think it's safe to say that it's a very, very pretty design, but I'd say that it's a bit lackluster on the armoring side, you know.
Yeah, only like about 2 layers of armor protecting those thrusters.
But I mean, Destiny doesn't have a cannon wall, so he won't be able to, utilize the momentum of the cannons to get the range on Cosmoteer. So this match will surely be interesting if the players go for each other instead of just farming stations.
Well, it's a lot easier for Destiny to just shoot stations.
Yes,
After
and
all,
it's a
he
very
has
valid
the fan.
strategy because he can. Destiny knows that he has to get close to Cosmoteer to damage him. So I think the best thing for him to do is farm the stations as long as he can, and then go in for a final encounter.
Of course,
in which he will have the fighting advantage.
The respawning stations don't always respawn in the place that Destiny can't effectively get to them before Cosmoteer intercepts.
Yes, and it's worth mentioning as well that since Destiny has lasers, it will be much easier for Destiny to focus fire on Cosmoteer, which can be a very bad
Cosmoteer notice Destiny yet?
Yes.
He doesn't look like he's turning at all.
Now, Structure has that weird issue where it doesn't really actually stop any projectiles. And this, I think, Cosmoteer might be a bit stuck.
Yes, because Destiny has so much forward thrust, he can negate the strafe thrust that Cosmoteer is trying to input to actually, dislodge Destiny from his back. And if things go Cosmoteer's way, the detachment of the structure will bug the.
Before that, it looks like the railgun is already being damaged. So, if Cosmoteer wants to get free, he needs to do it.
Yeah,
10 seconds ago.
Down, and the other one's on fire. So, yeah, I think that's the end of Cosmoteer's very, very beautiful finner. Yes.
Wondered if those railguns, if they would have even gotten through the quadruple shielding. Oh, that's a lot of lag.
Yes, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's all the structure. It's all the structure just colliding with itself.
Yes, because it's structure.
Well, I say this every time, but well, please fix your game.
Yeah, I did notice that the ship didn't
Oh,
I
get
lost
dear.
connection.
jittering when it was
Oh
running
dear.
into a bunch of the structure.
Yeah,
Man, that's
that's
game.
yeah, okay. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was something to say the least.
It was too many ship in one multiplayer game.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a problem with the game right now. It's basically the reason that one very good anti-missile strat to trust, if Polar Bear recalls, using junk as armor, basically, because the missiles don't actively try to target the junk, they actually try to evade junk. But you can't do that because if you try to do that, the ship has too many collision points with the junk and it starts to lag a lot. It's a problem in the game that if you have too many things colliding, the game it doesn't really like it.
uh, give me a second while I rehost the game.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, you can't have one turn without some kind of problem, right?
yes, otherwise this wouldn't be a Cosmoteer for me. This would be a proper like
Exactly.
yes. The password is the same as before. Okay, I'm gonna have to trouble Cosmopeer to not use that ship again, please.
I mean, it's a very pretty ship. It's a very pretty ship. I gotta give you that. The armor is really aesthetic, but when it dies, the game really doesn't like it.
This is why illegal tournaments would have been terrible. People would have just chosen like a grid full of separated triangle struts. It would have instantly crashed the game.
Well, the thing about illegal tournaments is that you can spawn a ship that, based on their build location, is just spawning right next to the enemy.
Or inside of, if you get it right.
Yeah.
So it looks like Cosmoteer is going for a different
Ship.
amount of ships.
Yes, please.
So is your Destiny. They're both going for a different amount of ships.
Okay, that is launch the game.
Destiny has the same ship as before, but the Cosmoteer is using a.
So who needs
trap-
shields apparently?
Yeah. I mean, if Cosmoteer handles his ship well enough, he doesn't actually need shields because he has the advantage of range on Destiny's ship. But then again, that leaves him very exposed, and the mistakes that he makes in maneuvering will not be pardoned. As one volley from Destiny will most likely be able to take out at least one large cannon.
Destiny is going back. Oh, he's turning now. Good. Nope.
He's
Just running away.
He's trying to keep both of Cosmopeer's ships on a straight line, so that they can't flank Destiny.
Just did a 360.
Pro skills.
So do you notice the name of the Destiny ship?
I think you should probably rename it to Game Crasher.
I mean, technically it's not Cosmoteer's ship.
Technically.
Oh wow, that's a lot of lag from those.
Yeah, it is as I said before, collision. Game hates collision.
And that is why ramming is probably never going to be a thing, by the way.
I mean,
we can see that.
walls.
Yes, and for now, maybe Walt one will one day find a way to
Oh,
not make
that's
the game
a
completely implode on
bad hit.
completion.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
he cut off the section that would control room.
The
That's
only
some
CR.
precision aim.
Okay, that is
Yes.
actually, yeah, okay, that's maybe he
That's
should
a
probably
very-
aim it to Scopo. That's maybe Destiny should rename his ship to Surgeon Scopo.
Yes. So Cosmoteer's trying to get the flank on him, but he's too slow.
Oh, the station might get some shots in. Nah, it's too far away now.
Okay, here comes. Oh, it doesn't make it through. Quite. He's coming around the back. Wow, that is a fast ship.
And Destiny is actively aiming for the CR again, which is a very valid strategy since Cosmoteer only has one CR.
Cosmoteer seems a bit unresponsive. Just my opinion.
Yeah, for some reason he's targeting the station. I mean, it does make sense because if he loses that chip, Destiny has the chance to, kill the station and win the game.
It seems like he's almost lagging. Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense because he's really unresponsive.
Unfortunately, I do insist that people check the connection beforehand. So.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yes.
even though it's an interesting choice to have the large cannons like that, I'd say that Destiny's Trust compensates for Cosmoteer's range, and Cosmoteer would only win if you got the flanking maneuver off. That's all that it came to be. If you got the flanking maneuver out, the large cannons would have done
Insane damage.
It's really fast. Yeah, insane damage. Because they penetrate really well and they like insta-kill reactors if they hit reactors first. But now Cosmoteer, since he has a hole through his front and he has lost one ship, and I think that Destiny already has taken off out two stations, he wins.
If Destiny kills this ship, he is winning because yep.
There he goes. Very well played by Destiny, but I think the Cosmoteer was lagging, so we couldn't really see his true skill shines there. Which is a shame because he is very good with the flanking strategies, and he had two ships made for.
Alright, round 9 is Saloth versus Caster Ninja.
And then it's the round robin three-way fight.
Yes.
Okay, then. Saloth and Caster Ninja. Both I'd say there are mini Cyrus. It's a joke because Saloth named himself Mini Cyrus because everybody was thinking he was Cyrus because he had like a very similar profile pic as him. But they are both very good players with the meta right now. So it will be a very interesting fight. We'll see if they go for the stations or they try different strategy. It seems that people really like the strategy of like taking out two stations and taking out the enemy, because it does actually gain you the win without having to fight the enemy twice.
So it looks like
Saloth with his ship with a design we've already seen. Caster Ninja though.
Caster Ninja has a laser wall design. We can see that he has a lot of electro bolters. No, not a lot. 8 electro bolters, but still, it's a very good amount. No, not 8. It's super much. So he has 16 electro bolters, which is a very good amount because fast walls rely a lot on shooting, as I said before, and having a lot of electro bolters will make that shooting go really down really fast. And if that happens, the crew most of the times they leave the cannons and try to reload the shields, the shields will be down, so you can get damage in, and the ship will fire back less because the crew's too bothered to man the cannon, too bothered by the two reactors. I mean, the shields being turned off to actually reman the cannons.
So Castor had a very late start, or very slow ship.
Yes, but
Taking him
if
quite a while. to get
Saloth
to-
doesn't watch out, he'll get flanked. But he was fast enough to escape Castor Ninja's flank.
Saloth's other ship is just going uncontrollably out. Why? I think now it's finally coming back.
And Saloth's other ship is going for the station, since he's damaged already. And I think that Castor Ninja is trying to move up to the station in a way that will keep his front aim towards both ships, both of Saloth's ships.
It looks like he is. I don't know. His thrusters keep going out of power. I don't know why that is.
That's because the six.
Oh, they're all connected. They're all connected.
No, that's not really the reason. The main reason is that these types of thrusters they out. If you look at Saloth's ship, if he keeps the thrusters firing long enough, they will run out of power as well. These types of thruster modules, they're like 2.1 batteries per second in the red, for one reactor.
Yes, but I think a majority of the reason he's getting to unpowered thrusters is because he has all of his crew just walking in between. The
Yes, that must be a
modules.
reason as well. Because crew is a bit dumb.
I mean, crew has been a bit dumb from
Yeah. Every
first
second
version.
they're not carrying batteries is not helping you.
Yeah, and that the battery, the energy storage that Saloth
He's
has
fixing
there.
it.
Ooh, we can see the station in action, getting some rounds into Castor Ninja's back.
He just boops him away.
Look at that center cannon round. Oh, he hit the armor.
Now this is the best time for Saloth to just rush in.
Yes,
yeah, he
and
is
he's
right
doing that.
behind him. Looks like
We can see a lot of.
Castor's deciding to rotate a
Honestly,
bit to...
if I were Saloth, I would have just like decided to just anvil Ninja.
I just have rammed because I may get damage if he spins around, but I'd have like a.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
going
here we go, here we go.
Oh, there
There
goes.
you go, and there goes half of Castor Ninja's thruster modules probably. I mean, they are very damaged right now. Nah, Saloth wasn't able to take it out,
there
but
goes
he
good
did take out a part of Castor Ninja's ship, and you can see now that Castor Ninja's ship is off balanced, which means that his thrusters will be a bit more ineffective. In addition to him losing one of the thruster modules, of course. Castor Ninja's focus on it is really deadly.
Yeah, still, Castor Ninja's firepower is a lot more powerful than whatever Saloth can throw out.
Yes. The
As long as he
insane
keeps
amount
his
of
shields
electro motors.
pointed toward him, I think he's good.
Ooh,
Yes,
here
insane
comes
amount of
another
electro
round.
motors.
There goes
and-
another small two engine modules.
There's half of
200
his
modules.
ship.
Yes, and now Saloth would probably be aiming at the CR that he has left. The other
So
engine
Saloth
modules.
is already lost. I almost don't.
He has almost lost one of his ships. But Castor Ninja lost
And there
his
goes
CR.
the control room right about. Nope. Just
There's
barely
still one
missing.
more
It's
control
on
room.
fire though.
Yes.
It's on fire though. But there you go.
There we
Wow,
go.
that was quite the shot. One cannon just managed
Just
to.
one cannon shot at the
Damn it.
very last second.
Very well executed by Saloth.
Yes, though that's the purpose of those ships, to get the flanking maneuvers off. And Saloth is really demonstrating quite well how you do that in Tyrus Barrel and in this
So a
barrel.
different laser wall. The thrusters are still connected to each other.
But I think that the armor layout's a bit different. Oh no, it has one more
Yeah,
thruster
it has a
module on
lot
the
less armor on the back, but more armor on the front. And no shields. Oh no, they're just not powered yet.
Yes, they're just not powered yet. And Saloth is already going for the flanking maneuver, trying to use the power up time in his advantage.
And it's like
And
chomping jaws.
he's chopping up Castle Ninja's thruster modules. There goes the reactor, and he's damaged some of the thruster modules. The good thing about using cannons is that even though like you may not kill the thruster modules right away or have less precision, you make them catch on fire, which reduces the
That's
effectiveness of
not a
everything
good
very well.
decision to turn toward the one with
And
more.
Saloth wins.
Yep.
I think those
Very
were
well
like
done by
a very well textbook flanking maneuver. Just coming in from
Yes.
the sides, destroying the engine modules, and crippling the ship so it couldn't actually move.
Castle Ninja is really showing the way to use those types of ships.
Yeah, I think the
Very
only
good
way he
design.
could have really avoided that was to just run constantly and the match quite the drag.
The way that you would avoid that, well, there's not much to do because I think that Saloth and Castle Ninja have both about the same, thrust per weight ratio. But you try to keep both of Saloth's ships in a line, in a single line, rather than having them, one on the side, one on each side, so that they can't like run to your side and get a straight maneuver off if you're aiming at one of them, because you'd be aiming at both of them at the same time. In fact,
You also might be able to use the Ring of Death as like a kind of deterrent to keeping
Yes,
the other
that
ship
as
from
well.
going behind him.
There as well. There is a very valid strategy to counter that.
That would have been very hard to maneuver, though.
Yes, because Saloth can risk the ship, just to go there and get the other ship to get some shots off in the thruster module.
Moving on to the round robin. Round 1 is a Destiny versus Saloth.
I'll be right back.
Right, so Destiny is a little less experienced than Saloth, but it should be a pretty even matchup. Interesting what ship Destiny will choose, because we know that Saloth can already capture laser like single ball pretty easily with double ship.
It's hard to say because despite my best efforts, the tournament has still been mostly being dominated by fast walls. We've seen a few railgun spinners, but they're just like they're not there because they're the best meta. It's because they counter fast walls.
Yeah. But the double ships would eventually get through the armor of a spinner, but they might not have enough thrust force to stop it from spinning. So it might not work at all.
Well, we'll just have to see.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Now, Destiny versus Saloth. This will be a very interesting match because we've seen the skills of Saloth just now. He is very well executed the handling of 2 ships. But Destiny has also proven himself a very deadly opponent because of his wall and the way that it's built. Very, very powerful.
Now, Saloth managed to dismantle a wall in his previous battle, so let's see if he can.
Basically the same ships as last time.
Yes.
Or not last time, but as last round.
Yes, as the last round of yes, as their respective last rounds.
Hey, if it works, though, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But
There's
there's
shields
a very
on the front, so
yes, there's a very good difference between Castle Ninja's ship and Destiny ship. Even though they're laser based, you can see that Destiny ship has more like concentrated shields, and he's faster because he's lighter than Castle Ninja. The way that Castle Ninja did his modules, he had to put like some armor bracing between the modules, but Destiny doesn't have to do that.
Well, okay, that's
Right
fast.
after that,
wow, that's
pulls off
he's
a
just
ram
taking
maneuver
away.
on Saloth.
does not get too much damage on him. It looks
But
like.
still, oh, there he comes back. He comes back.
Oh, turning in time, but
Let's see.
oh,
Ooh,
they're hiding
Saloth's
him.
ships almost collided with each other.
He's trying to get the flank, but his other ship
Yes,
and Destiny is too fast.
Destiny is really being.
He has
is being
seen what
very-
happened last tournament. So,
Yes,
last.
that's right, and he's being really aggressive in his playstyle, which is working very well against Saloth.
Trying to slow down while also not running away. And he's coming in for another flank.
Now, this concentrated firepower from all these small
wow.
A's and electrobolts are going to get through the shields pretty fast.
You can see a very, very smart use of the aiming mechanics on the game on Destiny's part. He used the Saloth ship to turn himself on his side so that the back wasn't facing the other ship from Saloth. And he's actively rotating the ship to try and counter Saloth's maneuvering. But Saloth got a ship on his side, which is damaging him right now. Now it comes down to the way that Destiny maneuvers. Comes down to maneuvering.
Now, Saloth is getting some good damage onto those thrusters.
Now he's not on his side anymore. Saloth has lost his advantage.
There goes one of his ships.
Yes, one of his ships is dead, so Destiny has the upper hand right now, since he's a single ship. He's combating a single ship right now. Saloth is in a quite bad spot, since now he's lost the capacity to flank Destiny effectively.
Which is really his only chance at winning, because the shields are almost impossible to break through.
Well, we'll see when Destiny plays against Ceres. Ceres does have a lot of EV as well. Ooh, there goes the station. No, helping being actually very important to the game. The 30.
He could have used that to flank, but it would have worked.
But I think that Destiny is taking advantage, since Saloth only has one ship to take out the 2 stations, so that when he actually takes out there goes one of his modules, yeah. But when he actually takes out Saloth's ship, then he will win the match right away. You can see that a lot of people is going for that strategy, 2 stations and 1 player.
Seen kind of a pattern once the first the first ships go out, and it's usually already determined by whoever gets to half up first.
Yeah.
Whoever loses. So I feel like not in a good position. What?
Saloth looks like he's still focusing on that. He's still trying his best to destroy that AI outpost. Destiny's ship is so fast though, he's not gonna get much time alone to himself. In fact, I'm pretty sure Destiny is faster than him.
Yes, I think Destiny right now is faster than Saloth. Because he has a lot of forward-facing thrusters.
Oh,
Missed.
just dodging those. Only lost a few thrusters.
We can see a very, very expert display of strafe and rotation maneuvers by Destiny.
So Destiny is going way out into the range.
Yeah, that's the problem with a fast ship. If you lose control of it, you're gonna be in a bit of a troublesome spot.
Yes, look at the amount of forward thrusters that Destiny has. He won't be there for long. Has 13 forward-facing huge thrusters.
Destiny has almost reached half health, but still has quite a lot of.
I think Saloth was trying to bump him back into the perimeter, but too much forward thrust.
Yes.
He also wasn't actually going forward with any speed. He was basically just off. So
I think instead of actually getting a force maneuver, which should you do to actually hit the enemy when the enemy with full speed. He only got a normal attack maneuver, which basically made his ship try and stop
So it looks like
exactly
he
on top.
respawned with a
Single cannon wall.
Single cannon.
Now the
But
time. Sorry, you go.
it is worth mentioning that the laser walls have an advantage over standard cannon walls.
yes,
that
they
can
do have at fast speeds. They definitely outrange cannons.
It is worth mentioning that the time Destiny spent outside the perimeter dropped his points enough so that he can't just win by destroying one more station.
And it's actively helping Saloth, because he was just able to tear a big hole into Destiny's ship, which is a very bad problem for faster walls, especially the laser ones, which have a weaker hold compared to the cannon ones. And off he goes on the ROD again.
See, it might have been a good idea to bring a heavy BB ship. It might have been able to get through the shields a lot better and would have been able to stop the lasers from firing at the same time. But
Most of the walls are very EB heavy nowadays. At least the ones made to combat other walls, because shields are one of the biggest parts on the wall melee. Will Saloth be able to get some shots into his thrusters? That seems not. But he will be taking advantage of the hole he tore into Destiny's ship.
There's not really a whole lot of things in that hole. Oh, actually, never mind. That was that's nice split.
Split his ship, and there's no CIs on the split part. But that also means that he won't have a hole to take advantage of anymore.
And he's also fast. He's also going to be slightly faster because he split, even though he did lose some thrusters.
He does not have quite as many. He has like 2 thruster modules compared to.
I'm thinking Saloth is playing a bit too scared of this half of war. He should probably just try and fight this in a direct fashion rather than.
Yes. It would have been interesting to see if he had.
The Ring of Death will do Destiny, and Saloth will be able to take advantage of the power up time of Destiny if he's smart. There, look.
Oh, he's respawned.
This is the actual only chance of Saloth winning.
So Saloth would be a good idea to attack now because he's still powering up all those shields.
Yes, I think actually it's the only way for him to win right now, because Destiny will outmatch him both speed and firepower if he does power up.
And it looks like he's almost getting away.
That's that's not significant damage at all.
Yeah, that's not enough damage, I'd say, to win.
You can see the real speed downfall with cannons right there when he turned.
Yes.
Lasers would have probably been able to keep firing a little bit longer.
But he's ramming Destiny, which is an interesting maneuver since cannons don't have more health than lasers. Yeah, but Destiny is pivoting Saloth right now to.
He's lost power to a large section of his ship for some reason.
Yes.
Maybe that's because like the crew are still like being drunk.
Yes, well, they're putting up time.
Well, this is a really close match.
It is a very close match indeed.
Unfortunately, that last gambit with the respawning ship failed. Afterward, the respawns are random, so you don't know where they're coming from.
Still, Saloth is doing a lot of damage to Destiny.
But I
think doesn't maneuver well.
I think this is it. Congratulations to Destiny for winning
yes, the timer.
The first round of the round robin.
It was a very close match.
Especially
there at the end.
Round 2 is Cyrus versus Destiny again. I just realized I've been playing the wrong Destiny for the entire time. Awkward.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
What's this?
Apparently, Saloth cannot play.
Well, if Saloth can no longer play tonight, then I guess that means he's just out, and it's we're back to elimination.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, this is no longer a round robin. It's just Cyrus versus Destiny, who wins.
Interesting to see what Cyrus picks, because he knows Destiny is probably going to pick that laser wall again.
Cyrus is probably going to pick that cannon wall as well, but he might as well pick some other different ships that I know that he has, which would be quite deadly against Destiny.
I think going with a rail spinner might be a better idea, but I don't know. There's a lot of shields on that.
But I mean, the railgun springs, they usually are built to take out at least 4 shields and damage a reactor behind it. We use like I think the name is Malaise. He did a railgun calculator, which is actually really handy, where you can see the amount of accelerators and the amount of railguns you need to damage certain stuff, you know. At least I use that, and I recommend to other people. It's really useful. I find that the community is actually a very good, very active into effectively trying to make stuff way more effective. One Eyes building guide, Roger and Wright's precision, energy, and power ammo relation, Malaise's railgun calculator, and all that stuff really does help. You can take it as very good reference into making modules and ships in general.
Alright, so your Destiny is going with the same ship, and Cyrus is going with the same cannon wall he used last.
Yes.
Well,
This will be a very interesting match because Destiny has Destiny has an avoider. He has a pure avoider because he only has 4 large thrusters and 2 standard thrusters off back thrusters. He basically has an avoider. What he does is he charges in and tries to strafe out. It's the ideal avoider strategy. But Saloth has a fully built. I mean, it's not Saloth. Cyrus has a fully built actual fast wall, ultralight wall, because he has omnidirectional thrust. So we'll see how both perform. Because Cyrus can have the range advantage and all those variables, but Destiny is also maneuvering quite well.
well, it looks like these two are just going for a direct head-on clash.
Yes.
They both got through their shields, not doing too much damage to the head.
Now,
Actual modules.
in theory, Cyrus should have the better ship for a direct clash since he has more cannons.
Yes, but you can see that Destiny can focus fire much better.
No,
Very
Destiny
well.
is definitely not getting the better of this.
Yes, he's not, because he only has
About to
forward and
split.
strafe thrust, not the omnidirectional
Just
thrust.
single piece of structure holding him together. Out there it goes. Does he not have a control room on the? Oh, he does. He has. Both have skill control room.
But yes, if he's able to use it as a ship for flanking. Of course,
Yeah, he
it may
does
not
not
be
have
as
enough
effective.
damage though to do much.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't have enough experience in handling multiple ships at the same time to actually get a very
Especially with a off-balance ship.
yeah, especially for an off-balance ship. He doesn't have enough experience in the good enough ship to actually get the
Interesting.
flanking maneuvers that Saloth showed.
I just thought it would actually be like helpful if you practiced with your ship being split and piloting it.
Yes,
It's a
it
bit
is,
tough since you don't really know how your ship is splitting. In this instance,
Yeah.
it did
You
split
do
in the
know.
middle.
I
Well-
do know because, well, at least when I'm testing, I actively try to make maneuvering mistakes for the enemy to damage my modules and damage my ship to see how the ship reacts, how the ship maneuvers. That does bring like a lot of of experience on the way that the ship works and how it would work if it's ever damaged. The way that I try to go is like I try to be at least damage as possible. So it's good to test like get the enemy to aim down the middle and
Those
split
lasers
your
looked
ship
like
and
they
those
would
steps.
have taken out that reactor, but they didn't.
But the interesting thing is that we can see that both of the ships had the same like dot behind them in at least in
Oh, that's game over.
yeah, that's a very good hit on. That's the Insaris part. We can see that both of his ships have the same like
Your
logic
Destiny's
behind
going
spinning
for the
split.
same wall again. I'm having a feeling that Destiny doesn't feel confident in any other ships he has.
Yeah,
Because to be fair, he's only won with this ship, and I do think it is his best bet.
Well, Cyrus has
Because-
been slightly damaged, so slightly damaged though.
Slightly, very slightly.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's already losing a lot. Wow, he's already down to past what Stars is. Sorry.
the interesting thing about Cyrus ships that if you actually take out the
Oh,
middle
he split.
section, yes, it should still work very well
Yeah,
because
it is still a bit unbalanced, but
yes, that's exactly what I do. He gets both of the walls to basically flank the enemy. Then he works with two walls then instead of one. They are a bit off balance, yes, but still, it's a very good strategy. He can actually send one of the ships to target the station. Even if he takes out the station, I think he'll probably win.
yes, if Stars does 300 more damage, which is, I think, I don't
It's
know.
basically the station's value.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get that. He actually only needs 200 more damage now.
Yeah, but Destiny's coming in to actively try to stop Cyrus from winning.
100 damage left.
Yes, and the control room is on fire, and the other ship is trying to flank Destiny ship. And I think this marks Cyrus keeping his championship status. Very
yes.
well done.
Congratulations
Yep.
to Cyrus for winning the January After Dark tournament.
Very well done, and thanks everyone for participating, and thank you for Ivy for letting me host the tourney.
Oh no, don't worry. It was a pleasure hosting with you. You too.
Thank you for letting me join, even though I was very late.
Stuff happens. Stuff happens.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Anyway, thank you to everybody watching. Apologies for any issues in this tournament, and we will see you later next month for the normal tournament. Yes, the normal tournament. Goodbye. Say bye. Goodbye.